Well, Joe Rogan goes against Trump on something and survives. Bill Maher goes to dinner with Trump and he's still getting killed. And now, by all people, Larry David all over him. Man, there's a lot going on. It's Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LA Golf. Well, we're live on TuneIn and YouTube. It is Monday, right after Easter. Can you believe that the Pope made it to Easter? And then the next morning, not even through breakfast, down he goes. Unbelievable. Look at this guy. What a warrior. Give it up for the Pope. He has to get to the Super Bowl of Catholicism and Christianity, and he makes it. The Pope gets there. And the next morning, he's gone. Man, it's just incredible. Steve, you can roll the teleprompter right now, buddy. I got a quick note in there. There you go. Man, the people's Pope. Poverty. Fought against it. I mean, climate change. Migrants. You know, he was anti-war, very progressive Pope. Pro-civil unions. Like he wouldn't go, he wasn't pro-gay marriage, he wouldn't go that far, but he's pro-civil union. He said he allowed priests to bless, gay couples. He confronted the sex abuse scandal head on right after a rocky start. It took him about 4 years, and then he got into it around 2017. He said, this is a huge thing plaguing our church. He defrocked Theodore McCarrick, the cardinal. In 2005, he almost became the Pope, but he came in second place to Benedict, and then Benedict resigned, and the Pope came up there. Now they go into conclave. Have you seen the movie Conclave? Won the Oscar? Oh my gosh. It's such a fascinating process in secret. You need 77 votes, 2/3 to go with you. And everybody's, in secrecy. They're all living in like a dormitory together. And black smoke until they come to an agreement. And then it's white smoke. So many world leaders have spoken out about the Pope. How about Vladimir Putin of Russia, called Pope Francis a faithful servant of Christian teachings and a consistent defender of the high values of humanism and justice. You are a murderer, Vlad. That lands on deaf ears. Oh, my God. Man who killed Navalny. It's like, well, you got to say something about the Pope. But I can tell you, you'll never run into the Pope. You're going the other way. He's up. You're going down. Easter Sunday was a beauty. Boy, it was after a really long weekend. Like I ran a member guest golf tournament. And if you've ever been, it's just, even at 53 years old, you just get so out of hand. It's just exhausting. But I said, you know what? Church is early. We're getting up. We're going 9 a.m. My pastor, bless his heart, Chad Veach, here in L.A. at Zoe Church. There he is right there. He reminded me, are you coming at 9 a.m., Bushman? Are you coming in? The pastor is here. We got to break down the sermon because, by the way, the Jews have the same thing. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the synagogue is packed. And then the following week, it's quiet. But, same thing goes on Easter. Everybody checks in. They feel good. I want this one to last, Chad. Pastor Chad Veach. Let's talk about this lasting. You said something. You said he didn't come to turn bad people into good people. He came to turn dead people into alive people. Preach.
Come on, somebody.
Oh, by the way, does the pastor look amazing? If you're watching on YouTube, you see Pastor Chad Veach with a fantastic mustache. Some people can rock a stash. I rocked one for 2 days last week and shaved it. It just didn't come in full. But Chad, talk to me about, teach, how do we take this in? You can be a believer of Christ, but a follower, to be part of Christ's story. And everybody wants They want a deal. They want to know they're going up there. They want to know that there's going to be abundance coming their way if they live a certain way. They want evidence. They want to see it. But that's not faith, is it?
No, right away when you ask that question, first of all, it's a treat to preach in front of you because
Oh,
I always say you're the best laugher and the
yeah.
best amener in the whole church. And there's no better Easter story than the year that I was late in traffic and we had to show the video and I showed up in point three in the valley. And when I walked on stage, you rose to your feet and said, "He is risen." And you had the whole place go nuts. They were cheering for Jesus. They were cheering for your jokes. So Easter's always special with you, Billy. And I just think right away when you present that question, I think faith comes from hearing. And you think about how does faith arrive at our doorstep? We need to be listening to better things. The content we consume becomes the content we create. Whatever you put in, that's what's coming out. And so to become better followers, I think we need to become better listeners. We need to hear the message of love and the message of hope and the message of faith constantly.
Yeah. So it's got to be part of your life, right? I mean, but
Yes.
but the center of your life. Don't you get the sense that people are kind of putting in a little bit and hoping to get, some type of great job promotion, some kind of make my business successful, make me rich. Do you have to lead first? Does it have to be like you got to give a bunch of money first and then? Because back in the day, when you read the Bible, there's evidence. You see the guy right there. He's crippled. He's on the ground, and Jesus heals him. Now I see that. I think a lot of people are thinking, if I could just see that one time, just show me that once. You got me. You got me. I'm there. But we've been told for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, he's coming back.
Right. What's so funny the other day, my 9-year-old, he tells me the other day, he said, "Dad, if I see a miracle, I'm going to give God my whole life. But until I see a miracle,
Oh, that's the pet.
I'm not doing anything." This is my 9-year-old. I said, "Well, son, the greatest miracle that ever happened is that Jesus rose from the grave." And he's kind of like, "Okay, I get it. I know, but I want to see something." And I get it. I get it. Faith, like you said, faith is believing in something that we cannot see, we cannot touch. And that's what I do love about faith. I can't see it, I can't touch it, but man, I in my heart, I know that he's real and I know that he's good, and it does take faith to believe.
What do you say to people who say, well, God or the universe? Sometimes say one of the two, the universe, God. Would you say, well, the universe is God? I mean, one and the same, but there's definitely, I remember you and I talked about this. I had years ago, I had recently been separated. I had Christmas Eve by myself.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a dark
Park
time.
City.
Park City, Utah. I'm up there by myself, and I started having terrible anxiety, terrible panic and sadness, deep sadness. And my daughters, I'd let them down. I should have fought harder for the marriage. I should have done this. My father was an old school, high integrity guy, and you just stick with it. You never split no matter what. And I'm like, I know that's in me. We made it 20 years and this thing's all falling apart. And then I start falling apart. And I found the Purpose-Driven Christmas, which is Rick Warren, the Saddleback Church. He wrote The Purpose-Driven Life, which is in millions of copies. But
Yeah.
I found the Purpose-Driven Christmas, and it basically, the message was, the more you keep trying to do yourself, the more you keep struggling, the more you keep fighting, like, God, I'm going to will this thing. I'm going to fight to make this happen. The more you do that, the more you're trying to control, the more you're pushing God away. And then the moment you say, okay, I'm powerless. Help me.
That's right.
I got nothing. You have the answer. I don't know, but you know. And you release. And all of a sudden, I will say that night, I felt this incredible warmth, just come over me. And this anxiety just disappeared. And I felt like, wow, everything's going to be okay. Now, what do you call that? To me, I'm like, well, no. I got to give him credit. I was on my knees. I was reaching out. That's not, the universe didn't come, I
I
released
love.
and I believed and I felt it, so I know it's there. But there are times, Chad, that sometimes, like, I get back into that, trying to
Totally.
do it
And
my
I
own
think,
way.
one of the great things about God is I really believe this. When we're in our worst place, he does his best work. When you're there in Park City, I don't know if you remember, our house was being remodeled. I was staying at your house at that time. And I remember you were banged up. You were not in a good place.
No.
And I remember that Christmas, but God showed up. You think about going back to the story of yesterday, doubting Thomas. Most of us would think you're a doubter, but away with you. Cancel culture. What would we think God would do with a doubter? No, what did Jesus do? He shows up and says to Thomas, "Look at my hands. It's me." And he answers his questions. I think God has answers to our tough questions. For you at Christmas, for my 9-year-old looking for a miracle, for anybody going through anything. And so I think God is so good. He doesn't show up for you that at that one Christmas. If you'll notice, for all of us, he just keeps showing up. Maybe you don't have these moments every day, but when you need them, when you need him, he touches us with his peace, with his presence, or sometimes even with his power, miracles. But he lets us know that he's there and that he's good and he's in control.
All right, so it's Easter's yesterday. We had the Super Bowl. Some people are hungover because they probably went out to the brunch afterwards. I had had enough up to that point, so I took it easy and played some pickleball and went to bed early, Chad. But but what do you say? Give people something if they want to take that Easter feeling, kind of like a New Year's resolution, right? And I'm going to do this, and then 2 weeks later it's gone. Like a practice, a walk, a something in the morning, a something.
Yes.
That people can take that will commune and connect with God and make their lives just better. We all need something better.
I'm so glad you asked because I believe in this one with all my heart. They did a study and they found that people that read the Bible once a week, no change. 2 times a week, zero change in their life. 3 times a week, zero change. But the moment people hit 4 days of exposing their heart and their eyes to God's word, 4 days out of the week, they started to see life change. And, I just believe this. We don't serve the God of behavior modification. We serve the God of life transformation. And for God to change your life, you need the Bible, the Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the word of God, the Bible. You need the Bible. And so I would just say, find a Bible reading plan. I have one on the Bible app called Zoe Devo. Follow along with us. Whatever day of the year is, that's what day we're reading. So I think today's the 109th day of the year. We're reading that one today. And just start, and by the way, when you read, you might not understand everything. That's all right. But you're going to grab something because God will speak to you.
Yeah. And also, there's some great podcasts out there. You could do, Bible in a year. There's a podcast. I did it. I just completed it, and I'm probably going to just do it again. But it's the Bible in a year, and it's one lesson a day, and it goes 365 days. And by that time, you've podcasted the Bible. It's about 15 minutes a day.
So good.
Everybody's got 15 minutes. Everybody. You can be on the Peloton. You can even double up.
But you think about what a hack will do. I remember when you started doing your gratitude walks.
Yeah. And then you forget, and you do it, but like everything else, we get on a roll, and life's really good, and then you're like, life's good. So now I'm going to have a double cheeseburger and 6 martinis, and then bang, life sucks again. Why? It's consistency.
Yeah, but guess what? We all fall. But you got to get back up. You got to try again.
No shoot, because the pastor's here. Matthew 28. This is interesting. I want to just, Pastor Chad Veach from Zoe Church in L.A. here. He married Kourtney Kardashian. I'm going to throw that in there. The man knows some people. He married Kourtney Kardashian in Italy. Anyway, Matthew 28. Now, while they, Jesus and the disciples, were going, behold, some of the guard came to the city and reported to the chief priests all the things that had happened, that Jesus rose and an angel rolled the stone back from the cave. When they had assembled with the elders and consulted together, they gave a large sum of money to the soldiers, saying, "Tell them his disciples came at night and stole him away while we slept. And if this comes to the governor's ears, we will appease him and make you secure." So they took the money and did as they were instructed. And this saying is commonly reported among Jews today. Now, this is a question. We're all talking, we're deep in the Jews and everything. There's anti-Semitic stuff happening everywhere. But is this where we differ? Where Christianity and Judaism, were they the one scene where they differ? That's it? Like that?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been there, but they're waiting for the Messiah. That would be the difference. They're waiting for the Messiah to come, and we believe our faith is that the Messiah came. We believe it's Jesus. That would be the major difference.
That's
right
it.
Here. You just talked about it.
That's it, because they said that, when after the third day, when the stone was rolled away, and the angel of God rolls the stone away, and the two Marys are there, and the other, and they say, "Oh my gosh, the cave is empty. Jesus rose," but the Jews believe, no. The disciples came, they took his body away, and they buried it over there. So that's it. That's really where everything differs. Scene.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
One moment.
And, if you talk to Mary and Mary, if we got to, man, I would love for you to get a sit down with Mary and Mary, or Thomas, or Peter. He goes and makes breakfast for Peter. And Peter, remember, he felt so bad about his sin and his denouncing of the faith. He went back to his old life, his old job. He was a fisherman. So he's on the boat. Here comes Jesus at the beach, and he's calling out to him. And he heard that voice. Isn't that the truth for us? When we make a mistake and we mess up and we've gone back to our old life, and then you hear that voice. Peter knew it was Jesus. He gets in the water, he swims the shore, and Jesus reinstates and restores him. That's the gospel right there. So our faith is in Jesus. We believe he is the Messiah.
I am like a one-legged duck, man. Swimming in circles, baby. Doing the same damn thing. Ask the therapist I have, we have the same conversation every week. Anyone else have that? You go to your therapist, you walk out, and you're like, I literally said the same shit last week, and we just had one-legged duck swimming in circles. And so, anyway, but the answer here is get into the book. Read 15 minutes a day. Get into it, make it a consistent habit, and see what happens.
I think, James Clear, I love James Clear. He talks about the compound of consistency. All of a sudden, you do something daily. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but you give that 5 years, 10 years, it's like a Roth IRA. That thing's going to explode eventually.
Man. All right, Pastor Chad Veach, I appreciate you so much. The guy was on fire. If you missed Easter, just go to Zoe Church LA.
Yep, on YouTube.
On YouTube, and just watch the sermon. The brother was literally on fire. The laughs are rolling. This man knows how to combine humor with the message, and you leave with a tear in your eye, and you've been laughing so hard. It was brilliant. Thank you. You deserve, I think you're out on a little vacation. You deserve it. You completed the Super Bowl, and you are Tom Brady. All right, pal.
I love you so much.
I love you. I kicked this man's ass in pickleball a lot. Oh, he's still there? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hang it up.
All right. Love
See
you,
buddy. He's very good. Some people are gifted orator. This guy delivers a sermon like you wouldn't believe. But speaking of, I mentioned the anti-Semitism. This Coachella happened this weekend, Easter weekend. Great time for Coachella. The Irish hip-hop group Kneecap put anti-Semitism on full display this weekend at Coachella. They performed on a Sonora tent in front of these big, huge, LED screens that projected references to genocide, denouncements of Israel, and calls to free Palestine. Their set on Friday night also condemned the U.S. for its military support of Israel. This call to F Israel has incensed a lot of Jewish groups, as you might imagine. Now, Kneecap, this Irish hip-hop group, has been known to espouse the ideology of terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. Before. They followed up on social media asking young Americans out there, hey, send clips to President Trump, who they call a derogatory term, but that's okay. A lot of people do here, too. They called him the C word. And I would like to apply the C word to their performance. It was crap. If you watch it, total and complete crap. I mean, these guys. But it's just obnoxious. I guess when you're not good enough as a performer, you got to put that crap all over. And by the way, what's the irony? October 7th, when that terrible day that Hamas murdered so many kids, it was at a music festival, right? You see that right there? It's kind of struck me as like, ugh, here we are at Coachella. Thank God that's all that happened, is the bile up on the screen. But anyway, I'm thinking about, said it at the top there, Joe Rogan, he agrees with me. Last episode, we spoke about the Maryland man, as they call him, deported to El Salvador, Abrego Garcia. Trump says he's an MS-13 gang member, a bad hombre, if you will. I mean, like, Trump even put out on social an AI, like a Photoshop picture of this guy's hand. And there was MS-13 across the knuckles, but I think that was clearly Photoshopped. Anyway, this guy's down in El Salvador. Yeah, there it is. We've got it up on the screen. MS-13. The font looks a little different there, yeah. Anyway, this guy's senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen, went down for a photo op to El Salvador. No discussion between the two of them about his gang affiliation. Imagine that. The senator goes down, meets with this guy who's an alleged MS-13 gang member, and never once asks him about it. Hey, can you just, like, between us now there, assure me that you aren't affiliated with MS-13? Give me some information as how I can fight this for you. Never even asks him about it. He says, I'm not vouching for the guy's character, or never was. This is about due process. Well, I agree in that on that front of due process. But I mean, while you're with the guy, you might want to ask him a few questions, do your own investigative work, maybe a little curiosity about the dude's affiliation. The Supreme Court on Saturday issues an order to cease deportations without due process. And look, as they should. I'm all for rounding up gang members and deporting them to the mega prison in El Salvador, but I mean some evidence beyond the Bulls jersey and hat, which I guess MS-13 gang members like to wear, would be helpful to the cause. Because taking Trump's word for that or anything is not enough. He's not the most credible. Remember, I've told you this a million times. Trump has famously said to me when I was asking him some questions about the liberties he takes when reporting the ratings on The Apprentice way back in the day, he would say, Billy, don't worry about that. Stop asking about the ratings. Who cares if I'm in the top 10 or the top 20? You just tell people and they believe you. I'll never forget him saying that to me. Garcia, this guy, Abrego Garcia, was definitely picked up with a bunch of alleged MS-13 guys. They all had the Bulls gear on. Not a good look. I mean, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. Definitely not a good look, but is it full evidence? No. Do you need some kind of evidence? I think so. Due process is in order. Here's what Joe Rogan said on that front.
The overcorrection is like round them all up, ship them to jail. Like that's like some things that you say when you're not thinking things through. Like, what do you do about all the criminals? Take them all, fucking send them to El Salvador.
Yeah.
What about due process? No, fuck that. But here's the problem with fuck that. What if you are an enemy of, let's not say any current president. Let's pretend we got a new president, totally new guy in 2028. And this is a common practice now of just rounding up gang members with no due process and shipping them to El Salvador. You're a gang member. No, I'm not. Prove it. What? I got to go to court. No, no due process.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That's dangerous, Joe.
Right. I mean, Rogan said we need to make sure we don't become monsters while we're fighting monsters. I think that's a good point. Like, let me see something. Let's see some type of evidence and then get that sucker out of here, and all of them. Get him out of here. But I like seeing Rogan push back against MAGA loyalists on this front, because the MAGA loyalists, the deep core people for whom common sense is on permanent suspension, the all or nothing crowd, the nuance free crowd, the screw the FBI, F the CIA crowd. We need those organizations. I hope Kash Patel doesn't fire everybody, but standing for due process is not caving in to the left. It's standing up for a core principle of democracy, the right to a fair trial. where the presumption of innocence and the burden of proof is on the government. You got to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. These are all things, these 5 tenets that we just, core stuff. It's what the country was built on. So I just love the fact that, he calls it out. Some of these podcasters who are sucking up a little bit, they don't acknowledge it. They're so busy playing to the MAGA loyal that we're not, embracing nuance here. If it isn't right, you got to say it isn't right. Let's turn to Party Boy Pete. Kind of knew this was a bad idea, didn't I? mean, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, does it again? A second Signal chat group, which included about a dozen people, including his wife and his brother, all on the same one. This one details specific times of the airstrikes on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. 2 Signal chat groups from the Secretary of Defense. Here's what Pete said when he was asked about it.
They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting.
Look at his dance. He never answers the question.
This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting.
Were you did you have another Signal chat group with your brother and your wife and all these other people? You're excited, like, oh my God, I was the weekend anchor of Fox and Friends. And not the weekday, the weekend anchor of Fox and Friends. And I'm like, Secretary of Defense now. This is amazing. Like, hey, to my brother, oh my God, John, you're not going to believe this. We are going to wipe out these Houthis in about 10 minutes. It's so insane. Send. I mean, it's exciting when you're totally not prepared and not qualified to be Secretary of Defense. That's exciting to go tell your buddies. That's awesome. But you didn't answer the question, and you need to. Did it happen again? Were you in, now you've got a group of 12, and I understand the NSA advisors and Tulsi Gabbard and, and Waltz and all the others that are, J.D. Vance in that group. Wasn't great that you didn't use secure government communication, that you used the Signal app, but, those are the right people to be communing with. But if you did it with your buddies and you on a separate chat, you got to answer that question, because then again, it's not forgivable behavior. It's not even, a real Secretary of Defense wouldn't even think to do that. So today, Trump himself was asked about it. His response was, ask the Houthis how he's doing. Oh, because we crushed the Houthis. But, bunch of guys in rafts, rowing around. The Houthis are like, if America can't take the Houthis, okay. I mean, Ukraine has been holding off Russia for 3 years, and they're tiny. Now, we've been helping them. Senators Schumer and Tammy Duckworth, who's an Iraqi war veteran herself, have called for Hegseth to be removed immediately. If you want to be nice, if there's a big strike 3 and there's already 2, then he's got to go. He's the least qualified Secretary of Defense I think we've ever had. James Carville. Let's tune to our old guest. We had James Carville on a few weeks ago. He turns his attention on someone who's been getting a lot of heat, Bill Maher. Bill Maher's still getting heat. He says, Carville says that Bill got had by the Trump charm. Now, let me just, before we go any further, the Trump charm is overwhelming. It is very, very powerful. I'm a man who's been had by the Trump charm, as you may remember. In like the Icarus effect, it came back to burn me. It's burned many people, but being in Trump's presence is beyond entertaining, and you get sucked into the vortex very easily. Supremely naive is what Carville called Bill Maher. Was Bill Maher had? Do you think? Not to me. To me, he got it absolutely right. I mean, Bill said, does a crazy person live here? No. A guy who plays a crazy person on TV sometimes sure does, for sure. Bill gave the most accurate description ever of Trump. In the 13-minute monologue when he talked about his dinner with Trump, he was to his face, he was critical. There's Dana White. Look, if you're looking at the picture, Dana White, Kid Rock, Trump, Bill Maher, and some other guy. Who knows who the other guy is? But Trump's glowing in the middle. Bill Maher's sitting right next to him. And it's okay. How can there be, is that our Chuck LaBella? Chucky's here in the control room, is he? Chuck LaBella? Chuck, get in here. Where's Chuck LaBella? Howie Mandel, there's Howie in the control room. Wait, Howie, that's Chuck LaBella?
Where?
Right here.
Chuck LaBella was at the dinner with Trump and Kid Rock?
He's sitting right there. I'm going to bring him. Keep that picture up. Keep that picture up.
Get that dinner picture up here. Oh, my God, the Last Supper. That just hit me. Why didn't you guys tell me before that was Chuck LaBella? Holy mackerel. Chuck, you were at the dinner with Bill Maher. So anyway, what I was defending Bill Maher over is the fact that he was critical to Trump's face. Everyone can be critical to his, against, behind his back. Everyone is. But if you're going to stand in front of someone and be critical, it's a different story, right? You want to, have a little more. There's Chucky right there. Oh, my gosh. Look at the far left of the screen next to Bill Maher. The great talent producer, Chuck LaBella, who booked The Apprentice. There's Chucky right there.
He books dinners, too. Take off your glasses.
Chucky, let's see. Oh, it's Chuck. Chuck, get close to that microphone. Tell me, was Bill Maher totally yuckety, like sucked into the vortex with Trump, or did he say the things that he said to Trump's face? He was critical.
I got to say, Bill was Bill. Bill didn't pull any punches. It was pretty incredible. And Trump actually took a lot of stuff under advisement. It was a real conversation, yeah.
So were there ever any moments that you thought, ooh, that was awkward, okay, awkward moment here?
No, not at all. Not at all.
This moment.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Howie.
You hear Howie.
It's okay. No, it was a great conversation, and basically what Bill said on his TV show is exactly what happened.
And Trump seemed to take it to heart? He took it in?
He listened quite a bit, yeah, on a lot of things.
So what do you think? I mean, you talked to Bill. I mean, he's taking heat from people like, Larry David wrote in the New York Times this morning, My Dinner with Adolf. He wrote a whole parody about having dinner with Hitler. I love Larry. I know Larry very well. Spent some time with Larry. Spent 5 days at Larry's house as a guest of Larry. But I don't think that's fair, My Dinner with Adolf. And the whole comparison of Hitler to Trump, I mean, it falls on deaf ears, and it only takes the people who support him to make him support him even more. They become more loyal. But what do did Bill, he's taking heat. Does he give a shit?
Bill is Bill. That's all I got to say. People that love Bill, and people that don't like Bill still don't like Bill.
And does Trump still like you? You booked The Apprentice beautifully. You had very many good cast members in the years, and that was all you that booked the whole thing.
Yes, it was. Me and Mr. Trump.
Me and Mr. Trump. There he goes.
The dinner, too. He booked the dinner.
Kid Rock booked
He booked the dinner.
Kid Rock booked the dinner.
How he
did the seating plan.
Kid Rock. I didn't do anything.
Did you? I thought it was all Kid Rock's idea. It was your idea?
It was all Kid Rock's idea. I was just a fly on the wall.
Oh, my God, to be a fly on the wall. How fantastic.
I'm just a fly on the wall.
All right, Chuck. Well, when we'll move, we'll let you go back to your office, and thank you for doing that. Sorry for putting you on the spot, and when the show's over, you'll tell me the truth. Okay. Yep. Look, he's like, get me the hell out of here. Wow, we've got two huge court retrials that get going tomorrow. Harvey Weinstein and Karen Reed. Where do we put our attention? Harvey Weinstein, this is amazing. By the way, Joe Rogan, speaking of Rogan earlier, he did what I did, and that is listen to the first podcast that Candace Owens did, because Candace Owens is a legal document nerd like you wouldn't believe. She goes through everything. She went through all the testimony of the two women we know about. The third is anonymous, but she went through the Miriam Haney, who was a producer on America's Next Top Model, produced by the Weinstein Company. So Harvey gave her a job there, and she did some things for them, and she did hair and makeup and other stuff. But she was in a relationship with Harvey for 5 years, and she made, accusations that were terrible. But I think everybody has a feeling. It's like you were in for 5 years, and then there's texts and emails that are like, oh my God, this heart, smiley face emoji, other things. Those are inconvenient details. I'm not saying that, the ultimate sin of rape is not possible in a 5-year relationship. Of course it is. But it's something to take into account. And we were when Harvey went down, we were not in a period of nuance being acceptable. Remember, we were living in a time where I'll never forget, Matt Damon said, hey, I think we can all agree there's a difference between, rape and a tap on the ass. And then he said after that, neither are welcome, but I think there's a difference. And the media lopped off the neither are welcome part and just said that, and Matt Damon was driving a taxi cab in Bulgaria for the next year. He was like, he didn't come up for air. And can we all agree what he said is true? There is a difference between those two things, and neither are welcome. Anyway, Weinstein's interesting. The other woman definitely had a relationship with him too. We'll see where that goes. It gets going. He's banking on it, the culture having changed a little bit, back to normalcy, back to somewhere in the middle. Will that benefit him? He's definitely not a good guy. I think no one could say that Harvey Weinstein is a gentleman in any way. But that'll be interesting. And then the Karen Reed trial, we're going to have on some people from the area, from the Boston media, as we get into that, because opening statements begin tomorrow. So that's a huge case. I'm into that. All right. Coming up, with Trump's tariffs taking effect, this is just practical and helpful. What should you be stocking up on right now? Jeff Rossen has everything you need to know and more. There he is. Wow, he's a handsome, really fit guy right there. But we met on the Today Show. And I wonder, Jeff, something to think about when we come back. You'll answer this question. Did they treat you as badly as they treated me? We'll be right back. Hot Mics brought to you by LA Golf, the most technologically advanced golf gear on the market. LA Golf is here to disrupt the game, and they're doing it. In partnership with Bryson DeChambeau, they have made the first ever driver with a face and shaft that match your swing speed. The result? Bryson's curved club face technology cures slices and hooks and makes all your misses go straighter and farther. LA Golf changing the game with the most technologically advanced golf products on the market. Take the swing with LA Golf today. We're back in 30.
Welcome to LA Golf. You guys ready for the tour? We're the only golf company that manufactures its clubs here in the United States. All LA Golf drivers are built right here.
I'm very excited for today's production. It's going to be
4 left. Anybody hungry? So does he work here?
Work here? He lives here.
All right, welcome back to Hot Mics, brought to you by LA Golf. Jeff Rossen with us right now. Jeff, we met on the Today Show years ago. Rossen reports. Are you still doing the Today Show stuff? No,
No. I left. I went to Hearst. I was nationally syndicated, and I just started my own YouTube channel, Rossen Reports, to save people money every day and make people money and side hustles, and I do everything. I tell all the tricks how to save money.
How did you get into this? It's so incredible, Jeff. I mean, because you're so good at it, and everything is so clear. I'll never forget the really funny piece you did on the Today Show. Wasn't it like you went from Brooklyn to New York and all these equidistant drives to see who was screwing you on mileage or who was screwing you on the ETA or these apps that are, you've always done. No one looks out for the consumer like Jeff Rossen. I'm going to say.
I did another one to see if all-inclusive resorts are actually worth it. So me and the producer went to the same exact resort where they offer the a la carte, where you can pay for your drinks and your food along the way. And the producer did the all-inclusive to see what's worth it.
Yeah, what happened?
So here's the answer. It's actually worth it. It feels good when you're all-inclusive because, your bill comes and it's like, breakfast, $0. Drinks, $0. It only pays if you're a total lush and you drink. I mean, by the way, I drink. I can assure you, I drink. You have to have 20 drinks, in the evening, to be able to make all-inclusive worth it at most places.
It's only the gluttons package. Okay, so it's cheaper.
So you do great at the all-inclusive.
Yeah, but once you commit to the price, though, you're sitting there. You don't want to be on a date and be like, "Hey, honey, Jesus, you've had 3 of those. Holy, those are very expensive."
Totally, yeah.
All right, so look, Jeff, the tariffs are on the way. What should we be stocking up on that benefits us all?
Yeah, I've been watching it's really crazy. The first thing that you wouldn't even think of, this is stuff you should buy right now. So obviously the China tariffs are in place, but not all the tariffs are in place, right? They're on a 90-day pause from President Trump. So, this could, but by the way, he could change his mind in 2 days and it can come back. But right now it's on a 90-day pause. So here's the stuff you should get right now. First of all, I was shocked by this. Prescription drugs and over-the-counter medication, even medications that are made in the USA. Guess where most of the raw ingredients come from? 2 countries, mostly.
Germany?
No.
Raw ingredients for drugs.
Yeah, I guess we'll sit here all day. There are a lot of countries.
Don't say China.
I'll give you the answer. It's China.
China
and India.
China and India. Okay, is China giving us any fentanyl in there? I hope not. I mean, they're the fentanyl problem.
And by the way, even drugs made in the USA, the raw ingredients all come from overseas, so they are going to get nailed. It's like even India, when the tariffs go into effect, it's going to be 27%. They say drug costs. And by the way, this is over-the-counter medication too. The price is going to go up like 15%. So
okay.
Don't hoard medication right now, but if you can go get it sooner than later, especially some of the over-the-counter stuff, I would do that because those prices are going to...
So like Advil, get a whole bunch of liquid gels now is what you're saying?
I live on liquid gels.
Me too. I need those.
See previous conversation about drinking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So prescription drugs and non-prescription drugs, the big things that you take a lot.
Everything, especially generics.
Especially generics. Okay. Get them before the tariffs, folks. What else What else should we get now?
Yeah. Baby and kid stuff. China, it's insane how much baby and kid stuff that they do, right? Like literally almost everything you have, board games, strollers, children's furniture, activity sets, all China. Children's clothing comes from China, Myanmar, and Cambodia mostly. And Myanmar is going to have a 44% tariff. Cambodia is going to have a 49% tariff. And I don't have to tell you, guess who's going to pay for that? You.
Yep.
So if you have kid diapers, so many of them come from China. So I would buy that stuff now too. But the real
what about
big
adult diapers? Adult diapers, which
you're still a good year or two away from that, Billy. You're fine.
No, I got a Rob Silverstein who works with me has a incontinence problem. So,
but I mean, Rob shops at Costco for those. He buys them.
Actually, he's only 5'6". He wears the kids. The electronics. We knew there was. We're going crazy in there. Apple. There was a moment there where we paused on tariffs because of the massive amount of business and training, and Apple's footprint in China is, just outsized. Giant. So, but I guess Trump said no, nobody's safe. So we're back to hitting Apple too. I mean.
The
I just got the iPhone.
Tariff on China is really against Apple. 80% of iPhones are made in China. I mean, 80%. And other companies are impacted too, like LG, GE, Beats by Dr. Dre. But Apple, because the iPhone, I'm an Apple. Are you an Apple guy or a Samsung?
Yeah, I'm an Apple guy.
Yeah.
Don't we agree, by the way, while we're here, don't you hate when you got like 6 people, 7 people on a thread? And there's one guy that has the Android, and he turns the whole thing green. I hate green guy, and I always say green guy's got to go, and I then shame and hate on green guy.
But here's the thing: they beat up on us. They say, well, if Apple wasn't so closed, then that's the reason it's green. Apple makes it that way. Yeah.
Who makes, and is it Japan that does Samsung does most of the Android. So the Android guys are now, holy shit, green guys are looking good. We're the fools because all of our stuff's made in China.
I was just going to say, do you know the big winner in all of this is Samsung? Because we're all going to be having Galaxies next year because Samsung barely makes any phones in China. They shut down their operations many years ago there mostly. They make it in South Korea. They make it in other places too, but they are not nearly as messed up as Apple is over this. So Samsung is winning the tariff war immediately.
How's Elon Musk gonna fare in this tariff war? I mean, he's the largest exporter of electric vehicles is in China as well. But Elon's got a big footprint. How does this affect cars, auto parts?
Cars and auto parts. Well, first of all, Elon. You saw Elon attack Peter Navarro. I mean, Elon is upset over these tariffs because it directly impacts Tesla. In fact, I think they've slowed production on a Cybertruck in a major way, and he's really been trying to get these tariffs lifted, and it's not working. Cars majorly, but here's the thing about cars. Not only because we've heard about, if you need a new car, you should get it now. It's not just that. Let's say you're a made in the USA guy or girl, and you're like, I got a Ford. It was built in the US. Guess what? When you need replacement parts, when your car breaks down, guess where those parts are from? Overseas. So if you have this is what I've been telling people, if you have any repairs on your car, new tires, something's been, clucking around in there and you're like, I got to get that fixed. I'm putting it off. Do it now, because once the full tariffs go into effect, even if you got to drive a Ford, the most American car there is, you're in trouble. It's going to cost a lot more. Get it fixed right now. Anything you need done in the next 6 months, you really need to do that. Yeah.
Jeff Rossen, formerly a great man. We met on the Today Show. Rossen Reports is one of I think people just look forward to it. It's a segment that was always good, and now he's doing it just for himself, as he should. Keep all the money, buddy.
I'm on YouTube, baby. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe.
You want to subscribe to Rossen. He will change your life in a good way. By the way, I love the place right there. You got a nice...
You like that?
Yeah. It looks like...
My wife decorates.
Yeah. I was going to say, it looks like a bachelor pad, but good. I'm glad you see
it will be one day.
When she gets smart. All right. Thanks, Rossen. If you want to save money, make money, expose scams, go to Rossen Reports on YouTube. What a great guy. Hot mics, hot takes coming up. How, oh my, his achy, breaky heart must be pumping like never before. Billy Ray Cyrus has a new relationship. No one saw this coming. Plus, a big change is coming to the Oscars. And a woman who is my neighbor and friend, fella Yogi, we go to class together sometimes. She has stage 4 cancer. My interview with Teddi Mellencamp is on the way. We'll be back in 30 seconds, but don't miss a minute of the action here on TuneIn Premium. You can unlock access to college sports, every NHL game with blackouts and more with TuneIn Premium. If you listen to TuneIn, we appreciate you. Plus, enjoy more than 100,000 commercial-free music and news stations globally so you can stay connected. Go to tunein.com/premium. Sign up today. We'll take 30 seconds, and we'll be right into Hot Mics, Hot Takes.
Welcome to LA Golf. You guys ready for the tour? We're the only golf company that manufactures its clubs here in the United States. All LA golf drivers are built right here.
I'm very excited for today's production. It's going to be
4 left. Anybody hungry? So does he work here?
Work here? He lives here.
Oh, my God. The highlight of welcome back to Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by LA Golf. The highlight of today so far, I mean, everybody that works with me on this podcast knew that the 5 people in the dinner photo of Bill Maher, Donald Trump, and
Kid Rock,
Dana White, and when I just thought the 5th guy, I'm like, it must be an advisor to Trump, some kind of advisor or something like that. It's our friend Chuck LaBelle. I think Chuck's lost some. He's gotten lean. Chuck's looking very handsome these days. He's a very big talent booker.
Bill was Bill.
I said, how was Bill Maher? Bill was Bill. Do not get me fired. Do not get me fired. Anyway.
Bill was Bill.
That's just a riot. I can't believe you guys knew that. Anyway, nobody saw this coming. Let's get into it.
When this popped up yesterday, I was stunned. I had to go from many sources. Yeah. Billy Ray Cyrus and Liz Hurley, they posted it. I'm like, what is this? They're together? They're a couple? This makes no sense to me.
Which one is which?
I mean, That is.
It looks like Liz Hurley on the right with the bunny. No, she is so sexy.
She is so gorgeous.
How old is she now?
59.
59.
And I think he's 64.
64 and 59.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but Bill, your thoughts when I sent this, what were your thoughts immediately?
well, I always thought I thought Billy was on a different planet and he was like facing an intervention with his kids. I mean, because he performed at Trump's inauguration.
It's terrible.
He was wasted, drunk, and at some red, white, and blue, inaugural ball. He was wasted, or it seemed like he was, something off. And I thought, oh boy, it's so sad. Billy's going in, but now apparently he's completely in love, and it's Liz Hurley. She has dated some legendary men. He's in great company.
Hugh Grant
for many years. I'll tell you one that you don't have on your list, but you go for because I read the book. And
Dennis
you'll remember
Leary.
Dennis Leary, sure.
Steve Nash, former NBA star, MVP.
Steve
Justin
Nash?
Theroux.
Justin Theroux.
And Steve Bing, who took his life, but they have a child together.
They have a son named Damien together.
Yep.
But here's one you didn't, because I read the book. Do you remember the interview I did with Tom Sizemore on the set of Access Hollywood?
He dated her?
No, she was dating Tom Sizemore. Wrote all about it. When she was dating Hugh Grant, she was with Sizemore on the side. So Hugh would come to town, and she'd have to clear out of. Sizemore wrote this. This is his account.
This now.
He had to get all of her stuff out, and she'd have to run. Because he was, while he was a massive drug addict, rest in peace. He was a voracious lover. Apparently,
so maybe this makes sense. Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean. Maybe there's I don't know.
I hope not.
We're all not.
I love Billy Ray Cyrus, but he's the sweetest guy, and I'm a big Miley Cyrus fan, and
so
we love Tish, his wife of 28 years. But that is an interesting couple.
Yeah. Bill, you had a chance to interview Teddi Mellencamp for Extra, and she'll be coming on this show as well.
I love Teddi. She'll be coming on. She's got a really big doctor's appointment on Wednesday where they find out the status of these tumors. But yeah, she's got stage 4 cancer. Her melanoma metastasized to her brain and lungs. She says the doctors are telling her she's got a 50% chance of surviving. So here's a little, let's roll a little piece of that interview here with Teddi.
I'm going to fight as hard as I possibly can, but no, it's scary.
Are you sad? Are you mad?
I would say it depends on the time of day. Like before bed, I'm sad. During the day when I'm like get out of a workout, I can get kind of mad. But what helps me is like doing fun things with my kids. I'm still riding horses with my daughter. Like I'm doing all the things that I love doing, and I've gotten everything that I've done. I've gotten permission from my doctor. I'm like, he may think that I ride dressage, and that's why he's saying yes, but he's still
jump.
I jump. So
yeah.
I'm like,
dressage.
whatever. He said yes.
Dressage.
She's got a couple daughters. She's got a little son named Cruz who is 11 years old, and she told me such a sad but kind of heartwarming thing. He said, "Hey, Mommy, can I have a sip of that water?" And she said, "Oh, sure." And she goes, "No, never mind. You're contagious." Oh, little guy thought that you could get cancer from a water bottle, and so she said the girls are really talkative about it, but her son Cruz, he doesn't really ask a lot of questions, so he's kind of bottling it up. And we talked a lot about, and she'll be in here, but we talked a lot about her ex-husband Edwin, who's a super nice guy, and they're getting divorced. I mean, it's still going through, but
that's still happening.
But yeah, but he's there with her most nights, and they're all hands on deck. She goes, we're experiencing something amazing, a friendship. So pretty great. But I love Teddi Mellencamp. We go to this yoga class. Kyle Richards goes to it. It's it's 6:30 in the morning, very early, and they're very good at it.
Were you there this morning?
Kyle's the best at it. She's really good.
Today's a Monday. Did you skip out today?
I couldn't do anything today. I was Eastered out.
Had a feeling.
I did.
Some things went on this weekend, Bill.
A member guest golf tournament. Stop. You're 53 years old. I told you I'm a one-legged duck swimming in circles, man. I just do the same things.
A one-legged dance.
Yeah. Well, all right.
All right, we got another one. The Motion Picture Academy, out of nowhere, made a rule today. This is a stunner to me. Voters are now required to watch all the films they're voting on. How has that already not been? So you could vote on the film that you haven't seen? Or vote on an actor? In each category, you need, and there's no way yet of How do you tell if everyone's done that? It's an honor system.
I agree. It should be, if you're on the Academy, it shouldn't just be to stroke your ego. It should be, you should be a cinephile. You should be a total nerd, and you should watch every single movie. You can't vote on a title. I can vote on a title. Like if I see documentaries, I'm not going to watch all 5. But Navalny, I think Navalny's a great guy. I would have voted for Navalny, and just thinking now, it probably won with, 60% of people having seen it. That's a terrible thing. They should all have to watch these films.
I know, and the fact that they haven't had to all these years.
Especially if you're going to preach to us afterwards about the importance of them and have a hashtag campaign shaming us as to why.
Think about this, Bill. Now you get, they used to send us DVDs when we were at Access Hollywood. Now I'm sure it's digital and they just send you a link and you. Think about years ago, these people actually had to go. There were screenings, obviously, for the press, but you still had to go to the theater. It was a chore to actually watch them. Now it's not a chore at all. Get delivered right to your house. And if you're voting for Best Picture, you should see that in the theater.
That's right. I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Well, that's Hot Mike's Hot Takes for us today. And I'm going to end with a little joke. We're going to see if the control room will laugh. Get the control room ready, okay? We have an audience in there.
Oh, Billy, before you get to your joke, I got one more piece of footage I think you haven't seen yet that needs to be seen while Rob's out there. If you can AO8 for me there, Kyle.
Wait, we've
Can you
got
roll that
something.
for me,
Oh,
Kyle?
no. Oh, no.
Roll it.
Oh, my God. Look at this. Rob's daughter, Dylan, got married this weekend. Rob's daughter, Jordan, got married. Look at that. Boy, the Jews know how to do a wedding. They really do. Look at your high tops and your beautiful wife, Debbie, getting thrown up in the chair.
I hadn't seen that.
How about the dance? Do we have anything? Do we have any first dance material? I want to see
We got
the
some
dance with your
coming
daughter.
too.
Don't
We
make
don't
me
have a
cry.
first dance, but remarkably, we got some more of Rob here. Roll tape, please.
Oh, the first dance with his daughter? I don't know.
Oh, no, that's with my brother.
What the hell is this?
My brother has got his back to us. He's much older than me, as you can tell, and he's got the one move with the arms.
You guys, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. The
absolutely.
dancing is terrible.
Absolutely, that was a disgrace.
Oh my God!
All right, Billy, we'll take your joke now.
right.
We're all
There's
ready
more?
here for your joke, Billy.
That's just because of the Pope. So 1970, the Pope is going to Las Vegas. He's flying into Las Vegas. He's going to go to the city of sin and heal them all. And the plane lands, and there's people out on the tarmac at McCarran International Airport, and they're all holding signs. And the Pope, he feels pretty good. He gets down the stairs, walks down, and he looks at the signs. They're all screaming. He says, "Welcome, Elvis. Welcome back, Elvis. Long live Elvis." And the Pope walks up to the podium and he says, "I'm so sorry. I am not the Elvis. I am the Pope." And the crowd goes, "Oh." And he's like, "What?" And he gets in the Pope mobile and they take him to the Sands Hotel and it's hopping there and he rides. There's tons of people outside the hotel and the Pope gets out of the Pope mobile. "Welcome, Elvis. Long live Elvis. Welcome home to Vegas, Elvis." And the Pope says, "What?" He goes, he's about to get inside the hotel. He says, "Excuse me, I love you all so much. I'm not the Elvis, though. I am the Pope." Oh, you can't believe what's happening. So the guys grab his bags. The bellman takes it. They get into the elevator. Of course, they're going up to the big suite at the top. He gets up and elevator doors open. And there's the concierge standing there. And he says, "Ha ha, Elvis. Welcome back to Vegas, baby. We've been waiting for you. I've got everything you asked for. The ice cream, the vodka, the hookers, everything. The barbiturates. They're all here." And the Pope says, "Well, thank you very much." Hey, one, two, three, four. Okay.
That's not bad. By the way, we need to show a picture at least.
Yeah, throw it to me.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, this is great. Look at that. What a beautiful girl.
There's a lot of them there.
Oh, my gosh. Is
We're
this
gonna
a girl having fun at her own wedding? If you're watching on YouTube. Oh,
Yeah,
my Lord. Look
That's
at that
beautiful,
picture.
Jordan.
She is
Married Mitch.
She's 32?
31.
31 years
And an
old and a
oncologist.
full-blown oncologist. She
At
is
UCLA.
a
Yep.
doctor curing cancer. If anyone's going to find that cure, it's going to be her.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, big guy. Hot Mics with Billy Bush presented by LA Golf. Take your swing to the next level. with LA Golf's cutting-edge technology. Visit lagolf.com and upgrade your game. Thanks for listening to us, and you can always do it on TuneIn, our favorite audio app and great partner, or just ask Alexa or Google, hey, play Hot Mics with Billy Bush, and they'll probably do it. If you miss a show, go to tunein.com/hotmics. We'll see you on YouTube, too. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Okay? Another episode. Very exciting. Bye-bye.